Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. Finally, feeling like myself today. All right, we are gonna dive in. We have kind of a chaotic mix of cards today. I'm feeling really wild and crazy now that I'm feeling better and it's freezing cold outside. All right, it's not freezing, it's 64 or something degrees outside, but it's cold. My wool sweater is overkill, but it's cold. All right, here we go. For Pisces, please, Spirit. For Pisces. For Pisces. Okay, for Pisces. For Pisces. Okay. We have a Knight. We have a Talisman. We have a Maiden. Wow, you guys got a lot of cards. Seduction, Medusa, and the Hand of Fate. Okay, wow. Guys, I'm just going to tell you, overall, I keep getting this energy. I got this so strongly yesterday, I feel like. I don't know. I don't remember if it was like during your reading or after your reading. Yesterday was crazy. I was like, wow, this really is a portal, because I just kept getting messages all day. It was wild. And having like weird feelings of like, kind of like deja vu, but not deja vu. I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, there's just this energy around you right now, Pisces, where it's like the Nine of Pentacles. You are attracting abundance toward you. You're in like a really good energy. And as a result, you're going to attract a lot of things, including kind of like negative attention, including, you know, jealousy, animosity, you know, people not able to kind of face you or to kind of look you in the eye. It's the, it's like, there's just a lot of jealousy. There's a lot, I can just feel it. There's a lot of, you know, I'm getting like fake nice energy, like nice to your face, but then talks about you behind your back kind of a vibe. Or like nice to your face and then like secretly judging you in their head. This is like just giving me like, you just can't let it get to you. You just have to know that's them with them. And the fact that you're this disruptive to them. I mean, for some of you, you are really living rent free in a lot of people's heads. And you see, there's this energy of, how do I want to say it? People who just can't be who you are. Like, you are effortlessly kind of who you are. You, with your interests, with your knowledge, with your wisdom, with your intuition, with your style, with your grace, with your, I'm even getting like the way you come into a room, or it's almost like the way that you are like a mystery and people sort of gravitate towards you because they want to like know more. It's like, these are people who really want attention, and so they're loud, or they're you know, they may dress very provocatively in order to get attention. It's like everything they do is for a purpose, where you are just you, and it's just this effortlessness. And now it's like turning heads, or, you know, everything comes in vogue every once in a while, right? You know, I mean, like fashion, or, you know, things go in and out of vogue, right? And so maybe what you have been hasn't been like totally in vogue until like right now, and then it's like boom, it's in vogue. It's like the coolest thing, and you know, people are really captured by it and taken by it. And then it's like there are people who may try to copy you or try to emulate it, or may try to discredit you or bring you down, or, you know, be in your proximity to somehow be associated with it, but aren't really capable of actually hanging with you or actually like matching your energy. And this is just keep your cup to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, just fill your own cup and just only think about that. You're really disrupting things, I feel like, around the end of the year, where, you know, people really are starting to notice you or something. There's an elevation. It's like giving me like a spike in your energy or in your like attraction. You may even be, you know, we do have periods of time where we are kind of like more physically attractive than other times. We can wear the exact same clothes, comb our hair the exact same way, whatever, but at certain times you're just more attractive than other times, you know? I don't know. I hope you get what I mean. What I'm trying to say is that you're coming into that time, and there are people around you who are not high vibe, okay? Let me move this. This is crazy. I'm like, what in the world? Okay, and then you may even be kind of like triggering these people for a reason. You do have the hand of fate right here next to this energy, and it is kind of giving me this person may have easily gotten attention before, but their toxicity is like oozing out of them. This green energy, this like kind of toxic sludge energy, it's giving me like it's becoming very apparent. However they hid it, or however they masked it, or maybe the energy around them was conducive to this, like it made this an admirable trait to other people, but that is going away. And this isn't cool anymore. And you know, it's like when a fashion goes out of style, people drop it like a hot potato. I'm trying to think of something that I can use as an example for that, but I just can't. But you know what I'm talking about. You know, country Christmas or vintage Christmas has been like the Christmas style. And now on YouTube, my entire feed is full of Ralph Lauren Christmas, Polo Christmas. So that must be the new in vogue thing. And bright red is out and burgundy is in, you know, and nobody has bright red up except me. I have bright red everywhere. I don't care about trends. But the thing is, how I feel about this is just that this hand is here to steady things. This hand is here because this is what is meant to happen. You know, everything is an ebb and flow. Everything is on cycles. And the cycle that's coming, Pisces, embraces you, you know, enhances you. It's like the perfect setting for you to be admired. I don't even know. It literally, I wonder if that's like an engagement ring. It gave me like a diamond, a loose diamond, and then like all these settings. And it's like when you pair the right diamond with the right setting, you're just like, you know. And so I don't know if that is like an engagement. Like it could literally be that, or the message could just be that like the universe is rising up to like, it's like it's going to show you off perfectly. So that's the energy here. Okay, it does say a new relationship blossoms, and it says you are destined to succeed. So this is, again, Pisces, this energy is coming up and up and up and up in every single deck. And on the bottom of the deck, you have triumph over adversity. So really the message like that I'm getting here kind of in the form of a warning. And remember, tarot is never supposed to make us afraid of anything. It's supposed to bring us insight. This is just saying, see how she's holding that cup close to her chest? This is just saying, you know, be like, keep your own energy in tight, you know, be your own source of validation, be your own source of, you know, it's like you are winning. And the fact that these people are this disruptive is just evidence that you are winning. And they're not going to say it to you. They're not going to be there. It's all very toxic. You can just feel how toxic that energy is. And this may be where that toxicity is actually revealed to people around you. Like, you may have seen it that for years and it has not been acknowledged, and you've seen this person rise and rise and rise, and it doesn't matter now what this person does. They can't compete with you. It's like, I'm seriously very getting like dressing provocatively, like in the way that they dress. They may even like try to copy you in the way that they dress. There's something here where it's like they're not you, and they can't pretend to be you, and people are even seeing who they are. I'm even getting like a stench, like, you know, like very unattractive, like people walking away, people being turned off by this energy. When you're in, you're in. When you're out, you're out. Isn't that what Heidi Klum says on Project Runway? You're in, Pisces. You're in. It's about time. That's what I get. All right, here we have it. For Pisces, please, Spirit. For Pisces. You really have some kind of major relationship here that I feel like could be like, I almost just got permanent. So however you want to take that. Yeah, this is your winter, man. This is your winter. Like, I just got like Winter Wonderland princess type vibes, or like Hallmark movie vibes, or some kind of, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Okay. It's crazy because it's like, it's even showing me like, I don't know, you could go to the same place, like maybe work or a coffee shop or a restaurant or something regularly for years and kind of just go in and out and whatever. And now all of a sudden there's attention focused on you. You're getting special treatment or something. Like, I don't even know. It's showing me like all these random scenarios that are sort of just like every day. And I think the point or the purpose of this message is that is the validation that this is right, and that you are, you know, your energy is on point. You know what I mean? You're in, right? Like, these are ways of seeing that. These are ways of being validated by that. You have blessing in disguise here, and there's an egg right here on this flower. And this is giving me either there is something that you think you want. Bobti Francis. Guys, come on. Are you serious? There isn't even anything out there. You just want another treat. And see, now I'm negatively reinforcing you. This is called negative reinforcement, what I'm doing right here. Yeah, it is. It's called negative reinforcement. I'm reinforcing bad behavior. So let me off the hook and be good. Thank you. All right. Sorry. Blessing in disguise. It feels like this is something where either you feel as though you've missed an opportunity, or there's something coming, or something that you think you want that doesn't work out. It is happening that way because there is like something mysterious that is going to be like cracking open for you. It's something better. It's something that's meant for you. I'm not sure how close these things will be to happening together, as in, I don't know if you're going to feel like you missed an opportunity and then the very next day you're going to be like, oh, that's why. Or if there's like a month or something like that. Everything, I think the purpose of this message like, as I'm interpreting it, is that everything is working out exactly the way that it's supposed to, and just kind of trust that. You have heart on the line here, and you know, a part of me feels like someone is going to be putting their heart on the line, but the other part of me is kind of getting this feeling of like, when we put our heart on the line, it's like, oh man, I really want this. I want this so bad. I'm going to put my heart on the line for it. And this coming out with this blessing in disguise is kind of giving me, there is nothing right now that is like really worth being like, oh my gosh, I want this so bad. I'm going to put my heart on the line, or like stretching in uncomfortable ways to try to make something work. This is the time to be like, oh, that didn't work out. Okay, that's not meant for me. You know, there's something else coming, okay? And it feels as though it has something to do with this partnership, okay? So, like, for example, if you're applying for a job or something and you go through the interview process and then they're like, thanks, but we've decided to go a different direction. You know, this is like the time to go, oh, okay, that must not have been meant for me, and just hit the pavement again, because it may be that the next place you apply, that where you actually get the job, is like where you meet your person. You know, it feels as though there is some stuff here that isn't really obvious. Like with this egg, it's like still hidden. It's still not, it's either still so new that we can't, you know, revolve our life around it yet, or it just hasn't even been revealed to us. And there is something about trusting the new beginning here that is actually really meant for you, and really being patient and knowing kind of like the energy that you're in, that wherever you land, whatever you end up with here in this scenario is going to be amazing, because your vibrational frequency is calling it in. You know, it's going to match that frequency. And so if something isn't working out, it really doesn't match your frequency, even if it looks or feels like it does. I'm also getting this kind of around like big purchases. You know, this isn't the time to like take out a loan, like, oh, I really want this car, I really want this house, or something like that. You know, or like I just fallen in love with it. When I had to buy a house this last time, and I ended up with the house that I live in, I found this gorgeous 1920s Mediterranean, Spanish Mediterranean home, okay? And this thing was gorgeous. Oh, I came in, it had original tile, and it was just, I literally lost my mind over this house. It was way too small, like in every way. In every way. It didn't have enough bedrooms for both my children to have their own bedroom when they came home. It was just way too small. The kitchen was tiny, and I love to cook. There, you know, it was just, oh my God, but when I tell you it was gorgeous, it was gorgeous. It was just totally impractical. But my husband came, and because he knew I loved it, and he was like, oh, okay, we can actually, there's space in the garage, and the garage has a plumbing rough in. So we could actually make like a whole place in the garage, and the garage is plenty big, and like we could do this and we could do that. But like the master bathroom was like a postage stamp, and I love to take baths. It only had a shower. It was just like everything in this house was like very small. And we're also over 6 feet, and the ceilings in the house were very small. And so like, it just, I don't know, but I knew, there was a part of me that knew that it wasn't for me, but there was a part of me that was like, oh, it's just so gorgeous. Oh my God, I love it. The fireplace, you guys, oh my God. Anyway, and it had this whole room of windows that overlooked the lake. It was, but it was way too small, and you couldn't at all possibly add on to it, or like that would be too expensive and too crazy. Anyway, it was too small. But I tried to make it work. I convinced my husband to come look at it and try to make it work. And you know, we tried to like force it. I even put in an offer on the house. And you know, because I was just like, okay, I'm gonna let the universe decide. If I put in this offer on this house, then I get it, then okay, this is meant to be my house. And if I don't, then I won't. And of course they counter offered, which I didn't, you know, put that out there. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I almost really forced it to fit. Because I just, it was Spanish Mediterranean. When else am I going to get a chance to live in a house like that? It was beautiful. So, but it just, I would have been miserable. I would have been miserable. And so then I found this house that I live in, like a few houses later. And every day that I'm in this house, I thank God that I am in this house. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I thank this house for being such an amazing house. Like, I love my house so much. It's so perfect for us. So anyway, it's kind of like that. It's like, and after we decided not to offer again on that house. Someone else offered and it was bought, and I was the first person to see it. I was the first person to know it was listed. Like, I had the in on this house. It was like, obviously it was going to sell immediately. And so anyway, it sold before I found my house. I had this moment where I literally was like, I have just missed an opportunity. This is the worst thing. I can't believe I did that. I knew I loved that house. Like, oh my gosh, you know, it was like a work of art and all this stuff. And like, I felt horrible. And that is this feeling that I'm getting from this reading. Is kind of like, it's almost like you sort of fall in love with something, or you think this is the thing, or this is what I want to have, whether it's a person, whether it's like a relationship, a friendship, a house, a car, like anything. Okay. If it doesn't just immediately sort of open up, or, you know, you get a no or something like that, it's like, trust the no, like trust what the universe is telling you at this time. And, you are not missing any opportunities. Like, the opportunity that is for you, and it's coming. Okay. And it does feel, there is something around this partnership that makes me feel like this is why things are working out or not working out. Like, you're being guided or directed toward some kind of relationship or partnership. Partnership can even be like business or like, yeah, something, okay? Then you have this like invitation of love, you have delight and desire, you have messages, and you have winter. You also have love chords. And love chords, that's like, I forget where this comes from. I have trouble thinking about things like this. But the red cord of fate, where we are tied to all of our soulmates. This is telling me this is like a deep soul connection. And it does feel like, even if, let's say, you end up with some kind of business partnership, that may not be all. Like this, you have invitation of love here. And this really does feel, there's so much soulmate energy in this reading. And so much of like the hand of fate and just all this stuff. And even here it says new relationship blossoms. It feels as though you really have some kind of soulmate or love relationship that is opening up, that really is for you. And with this invitation, I really love, I love the energy I get every time I look at this word invitation. It is not a forcing or a clinging or an overlooking red flag, anything. It's like, I'm going to put this offer out there to you. And, you know, maybe you'll take it. Maybe you'll take me up on it. You know, it's not a forced energy in any way. It really is just like an offering. And it feels sort of, I don't know, the word precious is what comes to me. It feels precious. It feels, rare. You know what I mean? And then you have this like delight and desire. This is just feeling like the beginning of love, where everything is so heightened. Everything is just so much better because you are seeing it through these new eyes of like the couple, or even possibly doing things that you would normally do because you have someone to do them with, or because your person has particular interests, or having the opportunity to share your interests with another person. There's just a lot of like enjoyment in life coming up here. I do feel like there's also really good communication. And I feel like it's, it's very reciprocal. It's very equal. And it does say winter. It is definitely getting to be winter here. All right, let's see what else for Pisces. All right, I really feel as though a card, there it is. I knew it. Okay, guys, so you're getting, it's not personal. Notice the signs, alignment, open your heart, think it through, and better perspective. This is, again, this feels sort of tied to this energy of like not forcing anything, like kind of just allowing the universe to sort of show you the way. Like letting go of the reins here a little bit. It's giving me like the weirdest things, like, sleep on it, like, wait until the morning to make the decision, don't rush yourself on any kind of, operate on your own timeline. Like it's like showing me you controlling the things. Like, okay, how do I want to say this? You can't control like what comes out. There are a lot of things you can't control. You can't control what comes at you, when it comes at you, how it comes at you. You can't control people being jealous of you. You can't control, there's a lot of stuff you can't control. And then there are the things that you kind of, there are places where you can take power back, or where you can take control back. Wow, this is really interesting. So it's like, it's showing me, waiting to make a decision. Like it may first present like you don't like the decision that you get to make. You know what I mean? Like it's not the thing maybe that you had hoped it was going to be, or it doesn't present in the exact package or the exact way that you were hoping for. But it's telling me like that may be just the first look. If you go home and sleep on it in the morning, you may actually see a really positive avenue in that choice. So like, I don't know what this energy is, you guys. I don't know. It's giving me like, take control where you can, and you're gonna see, you will see like the way in which it can open up for you in the most positive way. There are certain, okay. So there's like this energy of where it says notice the signs. You know how I was telling you, like, you may have gone to a restaurant for a long time, and then all of a sudden, and like, they just kind of treated you the same, or they would say hi, or how you doing, or whatever. And now all of a sudden it's like your norm on Cheers. Is that a thing? I don't know. that is like a confirmation, okay? And it may not be a confirmation that like you need to eat at this restaurant every day of your life, or that, you know, something about this particular restaurant. No, it is a sign that you are aligning with something. It is a confirmation that you are in a high level energy that is attracting kind of what you want, or a sense of connection to things that feels good. Okay? And so these are the signs to notice. Now, there is something here where there's blessing in disguise, and then it's not personal kind of a vibe over here. It is really giving me, you know, not taking on outside things, like not taking things on as rejection, or as, you know, I'm not good enough, or they didn't want me, or, you know, it's taking things on as like, oh, that wasn't meant for me. You know what I mean? Like I can see that things are unfolding. You know, I can see that I'm high vibrational and that I'm attracting. Oh no. Oh gosh. I picked up a book from my neighbor at the library. Oh, it's all right. I'll go over there when I'm done. Sorry, my dogs are going to go crazy. I know. It's just Donna. Come here. It's just Donna. No, you guys, it's just Donna. Relax. So it's like, it's kind of just saying to me, take where you can take from, you know, take the affirmation, the validation, whatever, in the forms that it comes in, and release and let go of, and just know that this thing isn't meant for me. Don't take it on, and don't process it, and don't, you know, move through the space of like, you know, the things that aren't for you, right? And then you have, open your heart, which I just love that energy. Every day I try to open my heart further and further. But you know, this is like also just talking about you and your community and the energy that you put forth. And you know, when you are high vibe and you are experiencing sort of this feeling of abundance in your life, whether it is monetarily or whether it's just like, you know, I'm luckier than most, you know what I mean? Or it's not even a comparison. I'm just feeling lucky, or I'm just feeling grateful, or I'm just whatever. You know, this is the time to spread that around, you know, to I don't know. It's like literally giving me like good cheer. To just spread it around, to just put it out there. This is a really good time for that. You are high vibrational, and when you bring a high vibrational energy into spaces, you're raising the vibration. And it's like giving it to me, like passing around like candy at Halloween, or you know what I mean? Like, you know, putting it out there. The think it through and the better perspective is really, that was just giving me, you know, like you know, sometimes you just need to sleep on it. Like at first, something that you're presented with feels like that's not the answer that I wanted, or that wasn't the avenue that I was hoping I was going to get, or the offer I wanted, or whatever. Or it's like, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. It's kind of like, okay, then say, I need a moment to think about it. Take that time, take the control back, bring it back around to you. Bring the energy back around to being to your advantage. It's like showing me you will always have a hand to play. You will always have a card to deal. You'll always have something. You know, look for that avenue. Don't respond. Like, I mean, don't react. You know, take the energy back so that you can respond, you know, how you want to respond. Like seeing all the sides, taking the moment to sort of see all the sides, the benefits of it is what it's giving me. So something may present like it's not good, but it's actually great. Okay. And if you respond right away, you might miss out on something. All right. Okay, let's dive in to the tarot. You guys were using the Winter Rider-Waite, and I love this deck. The cold has so inspired me, and the Christmas decorations have so inspired me. All right, here we have it. Wow. Okay. Wow. Pisces. Bunchy, I love you. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands, and then we have the Ten of Wands with the King of Cups. And then we have the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So this is a lot of people, okay? And again, I am feeling like you are really attractive, or you are really, like, people are definitely taking notice of you. For some of you, this Knight of Wands and this King of Cups with the Ten of Wands could be like past situations where you might have dealt with people who are kind of in and out of your life. They weren't reliable. They weren't consistent. They were always kind of, it might have even been a little bit about them, what they wanted, where they were going, what they wanted to happen, what they were willing to do or not do, you know what I mean? Kind of a thing. And then with the King of Cups and the Ten of Wands, you may have dealt with people who seem to have a really good grasp on their emotions, but they were emotionally blocked. It's like on the one hand, it was refreshing. They could talk about maybe even feelings, or even understand feelings, but they weren't really open or available for like a loving relationship. They were blocked, like they weren't, you couldn't access it. Or it's even something where you could even intuitively tell they were a really loving person, or they had at one point been a very loving person in their life, and maybe they got hurt or something and built some kind of barrier up around it. So these are really unfulfilling relationships, right? By the way, if you want a book that's pretty good, that shows kind of a relationship like this, Deep Cuts. I can't remember who wrote it, but it's a pretty good book. Like, that book is coming up in the energy here for me. Anyway, these are just relationships that are not satisfying. You know, it's like, oh, I can see that you are capable of being emotional or being loving, but you're blocked, okay? And like, oh, I'm, you know, you're a passionate person, and, you know, you're fun and charismatic, and I always have a really good time with you, but sometimes you show up and sometimes you don't. And sometimes I'm left standing here waiting for you all the time, and, you know, by myself, and, you know, and then you show up again and it's all back on again and it's great, and then you're gone again, and then I'm trying to heal again, and then you're back, and then, you know, so what I see here then is the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck, where it's like, you may have someone coming in who really does know what they want, and they are going to take action on it. Okay, like they're not, you know, like I almost said playing a game here, like these past people, but I don't really think these people are playing a game. I honestly feel like these are people who probably have their reasons for being the way they are, and one of them is that they're not actually really looking to grow in this life. Like, that's not a top priority for them, okay? This King of Wands, on the other hand, gives me vibes of like, I've been around a few times, and I've not gotten what I wanted enough to know exactly what I want. And when I see what I want, I go for it. And they are, I feel like, seeing what they want in you and are ready to really commit and go for it. The Hierophant really came out backwards. Yeah, you're closing out a cycle. This is someone who can't commit. It's like you would commit to them, or you feel like they are someone who may have at one point committed, or like been a committer, but they're not showing up in that energy for you. You know, there's this emotional blockage. Maybe it's caused by the last person they were willing to commit to that did them dirty, you know? The devil, clarifying the Knight of Wands, is just, it's giving me someone where you can almost kind of become obsessed with them, or, you know, I don't know, obsession is a very strong word, but it's like they end up becoming your sole focus of like, well, how is this person to me right now? Are they showing up or are they not showing up? Are they in or are they out? Yes. They're occupying your mind. They're taking up a lot of space. They become the central focus of your life. Are they in or are they out? Are they coming back or are they leaving? Are they, you know, to this degree of where you can't focus that energy in places that would be productive or places that would be helpful to you. Or that would even help you pursue your own passion, your own desire, you know? It's like they just kind of kept you on a line. They didn't, you know, pull you all the way in, and they didn't let you go, you know? And so it just sort of kept you on this like yo-yo type energy. And with the King of Cups, it's like, I know you're capable of committing. I know you've committed before. But why aren't you committing to me? Why aren't you showing up for me? And that is in itself another kind of like mind trick, really, or emotional trick, right? Because it's like, well, what's wrong with me? Like, well, why am I the person that never gets committed to? Well, it's not your person. That's not the right person for you. You have the universe here. So this is just saying this is a cycle that's closing out. You do have the Six of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. This is a cycle that's closing out because you deserve something different than what you have received. You know, the Six of Pentacles oftentimes for me is the expression of how the universe does equal everything out. You know, the law of karma, where what you get out, you do eventually get back. So if you've been putting love and, you know, stability in relationships and investment in relationships and in other people and you haven't been getting that back, this may be the time where that scale evens out, where that shows up for you in your life. I love these cards. Even the back is like this plaid. It's so cute. Okay, wow. So, okay, wow. You have the Three of Cups in reverse. You have the Death card upright. And you have the Nine of Cups upright. You know, it honestly feels like coming to this space where you're like ready for a brand new situation, you know, where you're like, okay, you know, if I have been waiting for someone to come back, or if I have been, you know, even like hoping for this past person, or, you know, whatever, it's, there's something here where it's like, you know, surrendering it, letting it go. Neptune came back into Pisces, I think today or yesterday. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not an astrologist. And Saturn is there. And it's setting off this whole thing where really, I just saw this morning. It's like, you know, where we're closing out a cycle. And it's not like, okay, I'm done, I'm never talking to you again, or whatever, something like that. But it's just like, I release this. You know, I recognize that this really isn't working for me, and I just kind of let it go. I'm not trying to like process it or figure it out anymore, or heal from it anymore, or, you know, engage with it in any real particular way. I'm just releasing it. I'm surrendering it. I'm letting it go. I'm accepting the path that it took. And then you have this death card energy, and the death card, it really feels like I'm moving on. You know, I'm kind of recognizing what place everything really has had or has. It feels like a really major transition. You do have like the world card and the death card here, and it's like I'm sort of at, it's just all very clear to me. I can see the role that everything played in my life. I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm not trying to process it. I'm not trying to heal from it. I'm just ready to move on. Like, I feel as though I've explored this to the maximum ability of productivity, you know, that where it's productive to explore it. And now it's just time for me to march on. You know what I mean? And with the 9 of Cups, this is leading to a lot of self-fulfillment. It's leading to a feeling of contentment, you within yourself. And this is a very high vibrational energy where, you know, sometimes the kindest thing we can do for ourselves isn't like going out and getting a whole bunch of new stuff. It's like getting rid of stuff, letting things go, releasing them. And that's kind of how this feels. And it does feel like it is preparation for something new, where you do have to kind of just surrender these things or acknowledge that they're over, and sort of just, and it's not even like acknowledge that they're over. It's just like, I'm moving on is really, it has nothing to do with them as much as it has to do with you. And just the fact that you are marching on, and that's just it. And you're not trying to make like reasons to take things with you. You know, I don't know how else to say it, but this is leading to a place of a lot of self-satisfaction. I was just like, yes, I feel this so strongly. Some of you really may be like moving or cleaning things out or letting things go, or even I don't know why this is coming, like having a sale. I don't know what that is about. But there's just this energy of, and just feeling really good about it. Like, okay, that's the end of that chapter. You know what I mean? Or, you know, it's, I don't know. Like, I'm just going forward. Yeah. I mean, Jesus, like literally, this is what it says. You have the 5 of Cups, clarifying this 3 of Cups in reverse, and it literally says disappointment on the card. It's like there were things that just didn't work out, or things that it's like no matter what, you know, I just get this feeling of like I was left holding the bag, or like I was, you know, I was just there. I was always finding myself in a position where I was having to process something or work through something or find the light in something that felt dark, or, you know, it wasn't, nothing really came to that pinnacle of celebration or happiness or joyousness. Like it just didn't work out. It wasn't harmonious. And, you know, I'm done crying over it. I'm done processing it. I'm done looking at it. I'm done healing from it. I'm done engaging that energy in any way. And then you have the Death card with the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands is really looking toward our future and planning and strategizing, and, you know, also waiting for our ships to come in, looking out there, hopefully knowing that there are ships and they are headed toward you and they're coming into your harbor. And, you know, today is as good a day as any other day, you know? And so this is like, yeah, I mean, it is the completion of that, and it's a new dawn that's breaking, and I'm planning for it. I'm looking toward it. I'm looking forward to it. With the Prince of Swords, this is, you know, the Knight of Swords. I'm barely forward. I'm barely. This sword is always such a powerful, you know, symbol of cutting things off, you know, or it's like making things fresh again, you know. It's like the things that aren't serving you, it's like just taking the sword to them and lopping them off, you know. And kind of being lighter in your load. It is funny, I literally was talking to my best friend who's a Pisces, and he like inherited a lot of stuff from someone in his life, and he loves it, and he's always loved it, and he has a ton of stuff. He has more stuff than anyone I know. But he's like, you know, I haven't looked at it in years, and he was off traveling, and he was like, I just decided this winter I'm just gonna buckle down, I'm gonna touch all of it, I'm gonna look at all of it, and I'm going to decide, do I keep this or do I let this go, you know? And I was like, really, you know, like, wow. And he was like, because I realized even when I'm traveling, even when I'm away, it bothers me to know that I have all this stuff. And he was like, other people would love to have this stuff, like I could let it go, you know? And that's this energy with the Prince of Swords. It's kind of like, I'm ready to look at it. I'm ready to deal with it. I'm ready to cut off the things. I'm ready to just admit the truth. I'm ready to see it for what it is. I'm ready to just get kind of crazy with this sword, you know, and release myself really from it. I just cleaned out my tarot closet, which, I mean, I was grabbing a deck and like 18 decks fell. I was like, this is out of control. So I cleaned it out and cleaned it up, and I'm telling you, I feel lighter. I feel lighter thinking. I feel lighter in my office. I feel lighter everywhere in my life. Just cleaning out this little closet. It's like not even like a huge closet. It's just a small closet. I feel amazing. And, you know, I was telling him that, I was like, you know, you get rid of like a few things and you're going to feel amazing. It's incredible how getting rid of things enlivens you and lightens you and brightens you. It's incredible. But anyway, this Prince of Swords kind of feels like this. It's like, is this going where I'm going? Yes or no? Do I really love this enough to take this with me? Is this the energy that I want where I'm going? Because I'm very future focused. I'm really looking toward what I'm creating here, not where I've been or what worked out or what didn't work out. I'm done crying over spilled milk. Man, look at that double Knight of Swords energy. You guys have the Three of Swords with the Six of Cups. You know, this is kind of rewriting, reshaping our narrative. You know, when, I don't even know how to say this. Nothing is all bad, right? And sometimes when we are still holding on to things, we can't look at it without acknowledging the suffering that it caused us, because we're afraid that if we look at it without acknowledging the suffering that it caused us, we'll forget, or we'll have to relearn the lesson, or we'll somehow open ourselves up to learning the lesson again, and we don't want to suffer again. So every time we look at it, we also say, oh, that caused me suffering, right? So if it's a friendship or a relationship or whatever. So sometimes it's better to just sort of make a clean break, to kind of just cut something off, to go in a new direction, so that you don't have to constantly remind yourself of the suffering. Then once you have that space and that distance, and you have truly released it and let it go, you can look on it with nostalgia. You can look on it with kindness. You can look on it with, you know, love and joy in your heart. You know, like Christmas is just the most perfect time of year for me to even be talking about this. You know, I have ornaments on my tree that my parents got in like years and years and years and years and years ago that hung on my Christmas tree my whole life, you know? And I had to really let go of my parents, really let go of everything with my family, really come to a place of peace and acceptance with the whole thing to be able to put those ornaments on my tree and to be able to look at them and think about like waking up on Christmas morning with my brother and sister and coming down the stairs and have my dad have a movie camera in our face, you know what I mean? And then like seeing the baby doll I asked for or whatever. You know, like I have really good memories of Christmas. My mom could do Christmas like nobody else. My mom was like an incredible homemaker. She was kind of like Martha Stewart. Like I can, now I have those ornaments on my tree and on the front of my tree. And when I see them, I just only think of the nostalgia. I don't have to keep telling myself the story about how shitty my family was, or, you know, like the bad parts. I don't have to keep reminding myself of the suffering. I can just look at it and I can just say that, like, being a kid on Christmas morning was a great experience for me. You know, and that is a celebration of that. I don't have to drudge up all the rest of it. And, you know, it did require me to cut that whole situation off and get space and distance and heal and come to the place of peace and acceptance before I could hang those ornaments on my tree. And so this is that kind of feeling. This is that time where it's like we no longer need to process it. We no longer need to, you know, roll around and get down and dirty with it. We are the Knight of Swords. We're moving away from it. We know the truth of it. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to carry the suffering. We can just sort of rewrite that space and allow that space to also be the beautiful part without having to remind ourselves that it also sucked. You know what I mean? It used to be the reverse, where I would think about how it sucked and I had to remind myself that it wasn't all bad. You know what I mean? Now I can kind of be sort of nostalgic and sort of, I'm noticing that I have just subconsciously or unconsciously or whatever, brought a lot of stuff from my childhood back into my house that I had in the garage that I like wasn't bringing in my house because it reminded me of my family and my parents. Now I have it in my house and I just remember myself at those ages and, you know, what that was like. You know what I'm saying? So it's giving me that vibe, this Three of Swords, Six of Cups energy. And it's a lot lighter vibe to not have to carry around the suffering, to not have to continuously remind yourself of the suffering or what happened back there, to sort of justify your position now. This is just a place of acceptance where it's like, this is how it is now. I don't have to think about it anymore. I made this decision. I cut this off. I went in this direction. It wasn't serving me. It wasn't serving my highest and best. It wasn't allowing me to be my highest expression of myself. It continuously sought to limit me or whatever. You know, you have the Knight of Wands and the King of Cups with the Ten of Wands. These are unavailable people. You know, these are people who keep you on the line, keep you on the hook, and cannot show up for you. They are not capable of it. They are, you know, not because you're not worthy. It has nothing to do with you. It's not personal. Remember, it's not personal. This is their energy. You know, you can't remove that blockage from the King of Cups to just let him be the King of Cups by itself. You know, they have to make that choice. They have to do that. And a lot of times people keep those burdens in their life and in their energy because they're protecting themselves and they just don't want to, you know, they're a deep feeler and they don't want to get hurt again. And I can understand that. I can have empathy for that. I can have compassion for that, but I don't want to be in a relationship with that. You know, I don't want my heart on the line for someone like that, you know? And the same with the Knight of Wands. Oftentimes this is someone who, you know, has a lot of passion and zest for life, but never really stays in one place, can't really set down ties because they're not okay that way. You know, they have to constantly be stimulated and moving. Sometimes they can be the type of person in a relationship who really likes the beginning of a relationship, but doesn't like to like work through the hard stuff. And then you have the Seven of Wands, and this is giving me a future focused, a forward focused energy here. Like he's got it all out in front of him, and it's kind of like, what's going to appear? What's going to show up? I don't know. But this is a card of fantasizing. This is a card, okay, the sky's the limit. It's a blank slate. What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to be? You know, spend some time with that. Don't think about the past and the suffering, but instead focus on, you know, we're progressing from the Six of Cups to the Seven of Cups. Think about all of the possibilities. And what do you want it to be? What feels right when you land on it, when you think about it? Oh my God, yeah. Okay. Some of you may have communication coming in from a past person. That's just, I've gotten that like a few times in the last few days. You know, some of you, this is when we release the suffering, we are able to move ahead without obstacle. Holding on to suffering and holding on to burdens really slows us down in life. You know, it's like creates a drag on our life. And the Eight of Wands is like moving forward towards success and victory without obstacle, you know, without delay, without those kinds of problems, right? So, you know, I do feel here that this shift in even like how we're looking at the past, you know, allowing ourselves to be sort of nostalgic about it, or like that was good, or there were good points, or, you know, shifting our perspective to a place. You even have this better perspective on the bottom of the deck. You know, shifting our perspective to where we no longer have to kind of remind ourselves of the suffering or focus on the suffering. We can just sort of let it go and be like, well, that was that moment in time and that was good, and, you know, whatever. And I'm moving on, I'm moving forward, I'm creating new memories, you know. But here again, this energy is very future focused, and it's very much like a blank slate. There are all these possibilities. You know, what do I want? You know, what am I looking for? What do I desire from this new thing? And with the Queen of Cups, you know, I just feel like that's your energy, Pisces. It's like you're in the driver's seat. You're choosing. This is your adventure, and you get to make these decisions for yourself. You get to decide, what do you want? It's like it's opening up for you. And I do feel like you are, I feel like this energy of really just stay focused on what you want and like where you're going, and let the chips fall where they may. Let the universe guide you, tell you, show you with its yeses and its nos. All right, if you're dealing with a water sign, you're getting annoyed. I don't want to miss my chance with you. You changed my whole direction. I am making plans, and nostalgic. Wow, we just literally got that in your reading. All right, if you're dealing with a fire sign, you are getting, I had no idea you would end up meaning so much to me. I am overthinking everything, excited, guarded, triggered. All right, if you are dealing with an earth sign, you're getting, I can't walk away. Be patient with me, please. I miss you more than you know. I am sorry I triggered you, and wishy-washy. If you are dealing with an air sign, You're getting, it's hard for me to explain. I can't stop thinking about you. Blocking. You were so unexpected. The changes are real and anxious. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for you. I hope this helps. I hope this brings you some peace and clarity. Until next time, guys, I send you off with all my very best. I hope you're staying warm out there. Bye-bye.